Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Rhea. If you're a new viewer, welcome to my channel. If you're a returning viewer, sorry for the hiatus. I still love tracking my reading online. I'm still very active on Instagram, go follow me. And I wanted another platform to track my reading, so that's why I'm here as just kind of a mid-year check-in. I'm going to be doing the mid-year freakout tag, but before that I'm going to get into a little bit of my stats. And if you want more details, be sure to check out my post next week. My stats for this year, I read 41 books, 9 of those are rereads, around 15,000 pages, and most of that is from the library, and most of that is young adult, followed by some middle grade rereads. It's been mostly romance and fantasy, and then after that, it's literary, historical, classics, and sci-fi. And before we start the tag, because this is my only video of the year, I'm going to try to shout out as many books as I can with all the questions. The best nonfiction book I read is The New Age of Sexism by Laura Bates, which was recommended to me by the book Leo. And this talks about different kinds of technologies that are being promoted to men as a replacement for women. It talks about sex robots, AI girlfriends, cyber brothels, AI in general, just how all of these technologies promote the patriarchy, promote violence against women. It's just really infuriating that instead of teaching men to respect women, we have this entire industry that's about catering to their needs, about what they want in a woman. Generically speaking, the people that use these sex robots, these AI girlfriends, is because they don't want to talk to an actual woman, they just want to command something, and that's really scary because then these robot women are taking the place of women in our society and are being trained that using these tools is necessary, and it really isn't. I would recommend this book to anybody. It's interesting because I don't talk about violence of women in any kind of casual conversation, so I don't know how much of this is general knowledge, but I think it's always good to know as both a woman but also as a man. I think it's a good book for men to read to know how to prevent yourself from getting into this world. The other best book I read that's fiction is Blood Over Brighthaven by Emma Long. I think this is recommended by Plan Priest Bride, and I've seen this all over everywhere, and I felt like this was the book for me, and I finally got the chance to pick it up, and I was right. It's so satisfying when you're right. But this is the book I've been waiting for. I read a lot of dark academias, and I feel like none of them quite hit the mark. It's a dark academia that involves colonialism, and I feel like usually with dark academia you talk about high school, college, but this is like more of like a postdoc research thing, which I thought was so interesting. We follow Sayona, who's the first female magic researcher in the society, and you know, she has to do this so that all women will have a chance after her, type thing. And instead of giving her a qualified assistant to work with, they give her the janitor because the society is just so misogynistic and racist like that. Slowly, as she's researching, she'll learn a secret about the magic. The janitor is this race called the Quen, and they're very like immigrant coded. The way that the other town people treat the Quen, it's like, oh my god, like they're barbarians, they should be so grateful that they're even here. I loved the way that this book also used like religion as an excuse to enact colonialism. I love this magic system because it's very scientific, and as a fellow woman in STEM, I related to Sayona because the way she thought about everything was so scientific, so obviously she began to question the system around her. And I've been in that scenario, and once you get there, the people above just tell you to stop thinking about it, and it's really hard when this is your entire job, is to just think about things scientifically. So I love the way that she was grappling with her worldview changing and the way she would argue. This is the dark academia I've been wanting to see. I also loved how flawed Sayona is as a character because she's privileged, and the minute she finds out the secret about the magic, she just rejects it and is so horrible to the Quen. And I just find that so refreshing because in other dark academias like Babel, the characters are just on the good side the entire time. There's no like changing of worldview. The next question is best sequel you read. I'm gonna give this to The Thorn Queen by Sasha Payton Smith, which is a sequel to one of my favorite books of last year, The Rose Bargain. I feel like I've talked about The Rose Bargain like every single video I've made, but she's just that girl. To promote The Rose Bargain, our main girl Ivy is going to debut in society in Regency era, but slight change because instead of a human queen, there's a fairy queen, and there's magic involved, and once in your lifetime you're able to ask the queen for something in exchange for something else. And Ivy gets caught up in this selection style competition to marry the prince, but she is also planning to overthrow the prince with the prince's human brother. The first thing I would say about this is I wish this was a trilogy. I wanted more from this. I don't think that the duology was my favorite part. I do love the first book. Second book, very addicting, very manipulative. I am so happy to read it. I had a good time reading it. It is just like a worse version of the Queen of Nothing from the Book of the Year. This book takes place in the fairy world, so all the Regency vibes were dropped, which is what made the setting of the story so interesting, so that was annoying. And the trials were not replicated that well. Only like 2 of the side characters make it from the first book, so didn't love that. It's like got the most like stupid on and off relationship drama between the main couple, and it was very entertaining. It was like yearning for each other and then finally getting together and then breaking it off and then yearning again and then getting back together. So like, oh my god, so annoying, but I was so sucked in. I read this in one sitting. The tension was great. Listen to my playlist while you read it. The song for this book is Ivy by Taylor Swift. So that was my favorite sequel. The only new release I'm waiting for is The Ocean Would Paint Me Blue, which is by the same author as Long as Lemon Trees Grow. The next thing I'll talk about are my anticipated releases. The new Naturals book, I honestly don't remember what it's about. I assume it's like continuing on from the 4th book, and I've always said that there should be more Naturals books, so I'm not even mad about the fact that this is coming like 10 years later. I'm so excited that we're back. Hopefully it's good. The new Scythe prequel is gonna be interesting. I didn't like the ending of Scythe, but I love the beginning, so I'm assuming that like the prequel, like at least the beginning, is gonna be interesting. But like I said, I don't really like the prequel stuff that come out 10 years after. Also because Neil Shusterman wrote like one of my worst books I've ever read in my life. Hopefully he proves me wrong with this. Fishman Cinderella by Elizabeth Lamb. I have heard that this is like a generational type story, and there's a Cinderella story in there somewhere. I just know I'm gonna love it. And Trustfall by Lynn Painter is like basically like the inheritance games where this girl inherits a lot of money from her next door neighbor, so she ends up going to like this really private school, and the grand nephew or something of this rich person is like really suspicious of her, so they like spend a lot of time together and stuff. Like, oh no, he's falling for her. I need that. I need it this summer specifically, but if not, then I'll read it when it comes out. The biggest disappointment is A War of Wyverns, which is a sequel to Language of Dragons, and I really enjoyed A Language of Dragons. I read it last December, and it's about this girl in an industrial era with dragons, and she's studying to be a dragon scholar, and she gets arrested, and she's working with this group of teenagers for the government to win this war against the dragons. But I love the fan family aspect, I love the dark academia aspect, and this book just had none of that. It had like none of the characters in the first book, and it was just such a side quest storyline. I don't understand why this was the direction this went in, and I will not be continuing the series. The most surprising book I read this year is Wuthering Heights. I read this book in January trying to prepare for the conversation around the movie, and did not understand everything that was going on in this book while I read it. No, but like at the end I was like so invested, and I totally understand why this book transcends time. I think Catherine and Heathcliff's relationship is just so interesting because it's not about their relationship, but it's about everybody else's perception of it, and I don't want them together because they're good for each other, but it's because if they aren't together, then they just destroy everybody around them. Like, something was really familiar about the story, and months later I was watching old Indian movies. This entire trope of like 2 people can't be together, so they haunt each other, and then the next generation haunts each other. That's so Bollywood. Like that's so funny. So definitely check that out if you're interested in this. The setting is so atmospheric, and you feel as trapped as the character is and as intrigued as the onlooker is. And I'm just obsessed with the way that the story is told through the servants, and you never really know what the truth is. And if somebody told me the story was about multiple generations and about generational trauma, I would have changed the game, because I love generational trauma and stuff. I will say the second half of the story was less interesting than the first half because it's supposed to be repetitive and they're supposed to be shells of their parents, but you know, repetitive. I'm like so sad that Emily Bronte doesn't have more work out. Like I want to read more of this. I can't wait to reread this. The next question is new favorite author. For Lila Lamy, I read The Dream Hotel last year. Is one of my favorite books, and I read her nonfiction this year, and it's so good. The hypocrisy of how the US treats its immigrants and acts like it's such a privilege to be in the US when the US is probably responsible for the downfall of the nation they've had to flood in the first place. I would say this book isn't outdated, but it came out before COVID. So I'm just saying we need a part 2 after, I mean, it's horrible that we need a part 2, but I think we need a part 2 because COVID and dang, I guess the last 6 years have just changed everything. My new fictional crush, yet again, is another Abby Jimenez man, and that is Jacob from Yours Truly. And I thought this book was like fine overall, but Abby Jimenez man, Jacob gave his kidney to the main character's brother. What am I supposed to do? The definition of written by a woman. This isn't on the tag, but I want to talk about my favorite couples. It's a heart check. I feel bad because I don't remember the names of the couple. Our main couple works together in this diner that the main guy's family owns. The main guy is a hockey player in this town that like adores him, and the main girl's mad that the hockey players get all these attention. They just get into like forced proximity and they like begin to understand each other. And I thought their dynamic is cute. Honestly, the reason why I didn't love the book is because I just wanted more of them. Like, we end the book when they like got together. My favorite characters, Lydia from Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ng, and I read this because I really enjoyed Little Fires Everywhere last year, and I actually enjoyed this one more. We follow this family after their eldest daughter goes missing, and in the first sentence it's confirmed that the eldest daughter is dead, but they just don't know that yet. But it follows kind of the circumstances for why she ended up dead and why the relationships with everybody in her family impacted her. I really love these kinds of books where it talks about like everybody in the family and how everything in their life is culminated to this moment. Lydia is like the epitome of the eldest daughter. She's like has everybody's expectations on her. I really love how Ng portrays and analyzes these seemingly perfect families and perfect daughters. Like, if you liked exploring the rich family from Little Fires Everywhere, this is really similar when you like see behind the facade. I love this book and I think it's underrated. Happy book launch day. This book is like very much like a rom-com, so if you're looking for that, great. If you're tired of like Emily Henry traumatic backstories, then I think you would love The Launch Date. I don't really like rom-coms though because they don't really delve into anything. Like, I feel like it's so surface level. Each of the characters like had their own promotions that they were working towards. So I just like a little trauma in my romance novels apparently. Book cry. I don't have a specific book cry. The New Age of Sexism, Blood Over Bright Haven. The next question is about the most beautiful book. I have to give the most beautiful book award to The Secret World of Briar Rose by Cindy Fame. And I love Cindy's channel so much. I love her. But I was disappointed by her book, and it was about a lot of things and it didn't click with me. I did get the arc of it, so it's possible some things could be changed. This is like a Sleeping Beauty retelling. Our main girl's sister is like looking for Sleeping Beauty, and they both get caught up in Sleeping Beauty's mind, where she lives in when she sleeps. I honestly don't remember the plot after that. Sleeping Beauty, I think her name was Briar Rose. Like, she was an interesting character, and I liked following her. Also, like, the Maleficent character was super interesting. But I don't remember the plot of this book. I honestly don't really like dream world stuff. It reminded me of like the spirit world from Legend of Korra. That's just not my vibe. I don't even remember the ending. Like, there was a lot of stuff in this book and it just fell flat for me. And the other books that I have here, The Beautiful Struggle. I've been trying to read his other nonfiction books, and unfortunately I haven't really been able to get into most of them, but I'm hoping for this one it's different. I'm also hoping to read Cleopatra and Frankenstein. This author wrote one of my favorite books, The Blue Sisters, last year, and I'm wanting to pick up some stuff from her backlist. I want to read Rival Darling because it was on the Goodreads Choice Awards, and I'm pretty sure it has Rainy Day Reads recommendation on it, so that's when you know it's good. So Keeper of Lost Children. I have no idea what this is about. I think it was on the Goodreads Choice Awards and I still haven't gotten it from the library. Other books that are on my shelf. I think the names is from the Goodreads Choice Awards. I have started reading it and I've heard all the buzz about it, so I'm excited. I think The Far Away is also from the Goodreads Choice Awards. Audition, I think, is from the Goodreads Choice Awards. The Sula, not recent. I've been playing Miss Bride that recommended this, and I'm excited. Jade City. I think this is recommended by Lexi, aka Newly Nova. That's wrapped up my mid-year wrap-up. And again, if you miss me, please go check out my Instagram. And if you like this video, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and happy reading!